We will make this quiz review quick. For those of you that did the first review yesterday, I just sent a PDF of the key for you to reference. Today I'm actually going to go through and explain things. So I have preloaded anything that I needed to put in the Desmos. I believe I have them all entered in there. So as we go through, I should just be able to click over pretty quick and get them answered. So this came right from the beginning, our first few days after our last quiz. What is the domain, range, y-intercept, and horizontal asymptote? Okay, and they also want you to fill in this table. So I went over to Desmos, and I already put this in, 4 to the x. And here's what our graph looks like. You can see it here. Okay. So I could fill this out, first of all. So it's 0.0625. And then 0.25, 1, 4, and 16, because our growth factor is 4 in this case. So what is our domain? Domain, as a reminder, is your possible x values. So if I look at this graph over here, and actually I gotta zoom out a little bit here. My x values technically go on forever. Of course, if I put in a number here, like if I put in a big number, like 50, our answer is gonna have 31 numbers to it. So it's a huge number. But it will go on forever. So what do we have here? What is our domain? Well, it's any number you can think of. Okay? So you could write the double R for all real numbers, or you can just write negative infinity to infinity with the parentheses, because you can never actually hit infinity. So we do parentheses to say that it doesn't include it. Now, what is my range? What is my possible y values? Well, in this case, we could zoom in here, and actually that red line is, let me go down here maybe. It's never actually going to touch that axis, but it's such a minute difference. It looks like it touches this line, but it actually never touches 0. So I'd have to zoom in here. You may never ever be able to see it. But so back over here, what are my possible y's? Now if I go back, my y's have to be bigger than 0. You can see this graph's going to go on forever. Okay. So what is my range? Well, some different ways we could do this. It has to be greater than 0. It's my possible y's. Or, again, 0 to infinity. And again, parentheses because it does not include it. Where is my y-intercept? Well, my y-intercept's right here. When I put x equals 0, y is equal to 1. And the horizontal asymptote is actually just related to this range. What is that number that it gets really, really close to and it never crosses? Well, in this case, my horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. It's never going to touch that. Okay, so I've explained this one. I'm just going to pause the video here, and I'm going to plug in all the answers over here for you, so we're not doing repeat questions. More of the same on the second one. I just plugged this into Desmos. Domain's negative infinity to infinity. Range is 0 to infinity. Y-intercepts 0. How about 5? Because it crosses that y-axis at 5. And my horizontal asymptote, you draw a line, y equals 0. This is write the exponential function for these two questions. So how are we going here? If we're doing exponential, remember that is multiply or divide, but we always have to write it as multiplication. So over here I can't do, jumping ahead, I can't do divide by 3. But here, every single time, I am multiplying by 2. So if I have my y equals a times b to the x, a is my initial amount, which is right here. So I have y equals 5. And what's my growth factor? Well, we're going up by 2s to the x power. Over here, it's going down. So what's happening? Well, I'm dividing by 3 each time. Remember, if we divide by 3, that's the same thing as multiplying by the opposite over 1 there. So 1/3. So again, my formula would be y equals my original amount when x equals 0 times 1/3 to the x. Down here, I said write the equation. Some of you didn't do this yesterday. You just said yes or no. Explain your reasoning. So here, what is my reasoning? So you would need to explain this on your quiz. Okay. Linear. Why is it linear? Adding 4 each time. Okay, and this is 4 over 1. So to figure out our slope, we do our change in y over our change in x. So we're going up by 4 here, we're going up by 1 here, so it's just 4 over 1, which equals 4. So this is, remember we have to do y equals mx plus b. So y equals 4x plus my original amount, again, my y-intercept of 5. But then over here, we're getting smaller. We're dividing by 6 each time. But we're dividing, or really that's the same thing as multiplying by 1/6. So when we multiply, that's exponential. Okay, and why is it exponential? We are multiplying. Again, don't say divide. Technically, it has to be multiplying by 1/6 each time. So y equals my original amount, which is 216, 1/6 to the x. All right, I have my next one here, 30,000. Write an exponential function. We're just repeating this over and over and over again. It's good practice. Should be able to fly through these just as quick as I am. Really, if you don't have to explain yourself, it's probably a 15-minute assignment. What are we doing here? We're multiplying by 2 every time. So it says write an exponential function. That's what we did. How many days will the water turn green? Well, we need this 300,000 amount. So come over here, I have it in. So we're going to put in our 3, 4, 5. Okay, there it is. After 7 days, we're over 300,000. That's what it asks. If the pattern continues, how many days will the water turn green? So it says the pool will turn green when there's 300,000 algae or more. It will take 7 days. Why does it take 7 days? Because then you have 320,000 algae. Okay, what is the growth factor? I'm going to star this problem. A lot of people are doing this wrong. So I'll know on the quiz whether or not you got to the 10-minute mark of the video, because some of you will just continue to get this wrong. What's the growth factor? If it increases, the growth factor is 1 plus the rate. In this case, our rate is 0.03. So that's 1 plus 0.03. That's your answer, 1.03. Not 0.03, not 3%, 1.03. What's our equation? 25,000 times 1.03 to the x. Needed after 7 years, so we come over here. 25,000 times 1.03. You could, instead of doing x, you could just put in that 7. But it's 30,747. 30,747. And the last one decreases by 12%. Again, what is the decay factor? 1 minus the rate, which is 1 minus 0.12, which is 0.88. The exponential function is, again, your original amount of 25,000 times 0.88 raised to the x. And then after 6 years, we would put in 6 for x. And come over here to my last one. And there it is, 25,000 times 0.88 to the x. Here are the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice again, our original amount, 25,000, is right here when you do 0. 11,610. That's it. Okay, good luck on your quiz. The only other questions on the quiz, there's like 2 or 3 of them asking whether something's growth or decay. Okay, remember, decay gets smaller, growth gets bigger. That's it. If it has that little curve to it, can't be a straight line. It's got that little curve to it and then kind of flattens out. That's your answer. All right. Have a good day.